You can't make someone want you, nor should you ever even attempt to do this. I know it can really suck at times when we like someone and we're having a good time with them, but it feels like there's something off. Like they're just maybe not reciprocating our effort, maybe they're not communicating with us as well as we were hoping, and we feel a bit of anxiety or stress because we don't know where we stand with them. And whenever things are working out like that, quite often a lot of us have this conditioned response to try even harder because maybe it comes from our childhood. Maybe we were dealing with issues with our parents where we were trying to get their attention and validation, and it felt like they weren't always there to give it to us. Or maybe that was happening with your friends or your teachers, or just for whatever reason you felt like chasing people was worthwhile to get the validation that you needed from them, or wanted from them, should I say, because we don't really ever need validation, but it's something that we strive to have. Well, now you fast forward to your adult life, and maybe you still have that tendency to chase after people that you really like, that you believe would fit into your life. But here's the thing, you can't make someone want you, and if it ever feels like you're chasing someone, that immediately tells you that this person likely doesn't want you in their life, or at least they're not putting an effort to do just that, right? So even if they do want you in their life, why the hell do their actions not show that? I mean, I've been in that situation where a woman liked me. Well, actually, it's happened more than once, but I've been in situations where women like me and they don't put in any effort to reciprocate. And it boggles the hell out of me because I'm like, what's your deal? There have actually even been times where I stopped putting in effort talking to specific women because I thought they didn't like me because of their actions. And then I later found out they really liked me and they were wondering why I stopped talking to them. And I'm like, your actions didn't back that up at all. Like, I thought you weren't interested. You were giving me one-word responses. You weren't putting in any effort. You weren't trying to meet up with me. So it's like, what's going on here? But here's the thing, even in those situations where somebody likes you, but it feels like they don't because of their actions, you're still better off without them. Because your goal should always be to find people who don't make it so difficult. People who actually communicate the way they feel honestly and openly. People who are authentic like that. I mean, this is the way I am with women, and yeah, there have been times where it gets me in trouble with average women who don't know how to respond to honesty. But I don't want to play games. I don't want to make a woman wonder or question where she stands with me. If I like her, I'm going to tell her. Like, that's the way I am. I know that won't always work with average women, but I mean, it's a good way of kind of vetting them, right? Because if I tell a woman I like her and it makes her get all weird or start playing games, then I'm going to kick her to the curb because I don't want to deal with that. I know that this will actually work with healthy women who've worked on themselves. They'll appreciate that. So that's what you should want as well. You should want people who actually let you know where you stand with them, or at least if they don't outright tell you, they make it rather obvious via their actions because they actually put in effort, they reciprocate, they want to see you, and their actions back that up. I mean, I can tell you from my own experience that when somebody truly wants to keep you in their life, you'll know. Like, there won't be any doubt because their actions will show you. Like, I've dated women who were really busy and they still made effort to see me, to include me in their life. In fact, one of the most, well, actually, yeah, the busiest woman I ever dated was actually a paralegal, and she was so busy she even had to work weekends from time to time, and she wouldn't even know ahead of time when that would happen. It would just be kind of sprung upon her by her boss. So there would be times where we'd plan to meet up on a weekend day, and then suddenly she couldn't do it anymore. But she still found ways to make time for me. She still found ways to say, hey, look, like I suddenly can't do Saturday, but let's see each other Sunday, or maybe Tuesday of next week will work. That is how someone shows you that they want to include you in their life. They make an effort to do just that. Like, if they have to cancel a date, they're going to try to reschedule right then and there instead of saying, I have to cancel, and nothing else. Like, if somebody cancels a date and they don't try to reschedule, I almost always view that as a bad sign. I know it's not always a bad sign, but that's the way I interpret it, because I'm like, from my experience, when a woman really likes me, she's going to want to reschedule immediately because she doesn't want to create any opportunity for me to fall through the cracks and think that she doesn't want me around, so then I'll just let her go. So yeah, guys, it's really important. Judge someone's actions. Their actions will betray how they feel about you. And you can never make someone want you, so that should never be your goal. Your goal should not be to try to impress someone, to make them like you. Your goal should always be to find people who will like you as you are. People who will immediately reciprocate because they recognize your value, your worth. They see what you bring to the table. Not everyone will be like this. I mean, believe me. But we already know this, right? Yeah, I've met so many women I've even met women who recognize my value and still couldn't reciprocate. And I don't know what was going on there because those women didn't tell me, but it still happens. So really, your whole goal should just be to find those people who do actually make it obvious that they really want to include you in their lives. And the ones who don't, just let them fall out of your life. I know that it sucks. Believe me, if you really like someone and maybe you could even see them potentially fitting in your life in the future, it can really suck to let them go. But if they're not reciprocating, if it feels like you're chasing them, if it feels incredibly difficult, like pulling teeth, they're not the right fit for you. Because it'll never be that difficult for someone who's actually good for you. I mean, I've met women who really connected with me, like to the point where I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like I could maybe even see myself getting into a relationship with this woman. And then there'd be something off and I would find out, hey, you know what? Maybe she's not actually a good fit in my life, even though she is still a great woman. Just whatever reason, the timing could be off. That's usually the case. I freaking hate timing, but so often that's the case. The timing's just off. She's dealing with issues of her own that are making her focus on them more than anything else. So then, you're trying to include them in your life. You're trying to schedule dates, and it just feels like pulling teeth. And at some point, you have to take a step back and say, you know what? This isn't working. And even though I like this woman, it's not working. So I need to choose myself and let her go because the timing's off, and it sucks because if things were different, this would probably work differently, maybe work out. But if the timing is off, you just sometimes have to let people go. If they're not reciprocating, if you're wasting your time and energy trying to chase them, let them go. Like seriously, it won't be that difficult for people who are actually good for you. And I'll tell you this, it always hurts less if you let someone go sooner rather than later. Like people often are afraid of letting go of someone because they like them and they don't want to feel that pain. But that pain gets worse the longer you set it off. So if you're afraid of getting hurt, so you don't let them go right away, you're actually signing up for even more pain. Like it boggles my mind how people don't understand this. Like you're better off letting them go now rather than waiting a few months to do that. Like it only hurts more the further you push it out. So be willing to cut someone out of your life sooner rather than later for your own sake. Like, believe me, guys, I know it's difficult. Like, I've done this quite a few times, and it's only ever that difficult for me when it's a woman who checks off my boxes for some of my criteria for a woman who would be worth getting into a relationship with. If a woman checks off those boxes, I know she's rare because I haven't met many women like that. I haven't met many women that would actually consider even just getting into a relationship with. So when I meet one of them, I get somewhat excited. I'm like, holy crap, like there aren't too many of you out there. And then when it doesn't work out, yeah, it sucks. But there have been times where I know I have to make that decision, even though it hurts. I'm like, I like this woman, but she's not meeting me on the same level. She's not reciprocating. This will probably work out if the timing was different or logistics were different, and that sucks, but I can't change those things. So I just have to choose myself. I have to let her go. I have to sign up for like a week of pain, and then afterwards it's over with and it's done. So that's just the best thing for you to do in those situations. Cut them off sooner rather than later, even if it sucks. Like, that's what being strong is all about. Doing those difficult decisions because they're the right thing to do for you in the long run. So don't be afraid to make them. But anyway, my whole point with this video is just that you can't make someone want you. So if it feels super difficult trying to keep someone in your life, you're oftentimes just way better off letting them go and if things are meant to be, maybe they'll come back in the future. But if not, you're better off without them anyway. So there you go, and that's pretty much all I have for you in this video. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, like the video and leave a comment for the algorithm. That's the easiest way you can help me out. And let me know your thoughts on this. Like, this is it's not the funnest subject because none of us like being in that situation, but you really just have to choose yourself in the end. That's all you can do. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Arrivederci.